on the agenda is Wayne with some request to purchase.
The following requests, whiteboard and dry eraser markers for Station 2. Need more MSA calibrating gas. We need more mass bags, as the smaller bags that we used to use still need to replace a few more that I found around. And then additional suspenders for the gear, and then to order the leather boots that were budgeted this year. Got several people that are in need of them. Vacuum for Station 1, more tool bags for RP3, request for 2 safety officer shields, and need more AED batteries and batteries for the single gas meters.
Any questions or comments?
Okay, we're getting a good vacuum for that price.
I hope so.
So do I. I'm one of the few that clean down there, so I.
Was it a regular handheld, like a household type thing? Or
Yeah, just a regular.
not a shop bag?
No.
So my only comment and or question is the safety officer shields. Because the Northwest Fire District has only appointed 1 safety officer, and that's Bill Hopper. There was no resolution or appointment to any other safety officer, so why would we be buying shields for additional safety officers?
We've always had as many as 4 safety officers that work under Hopper.
Okay.
And they do other details as far as making sure on the scene that people are safe, the firefighters are safe, in doing the tasks that they have to do. And also Hopper assigns them, and you can speak for yourself there, Hopper, he assigns them different tasks, which is either checking extinguishers or checking stations for the yellow cabinet where they're keeping stuff. So nothing's been said about having 4 safety officers, because it's at the pleasure, once you appoint him for the district, at the pleasure of the chief to appoint other safety officers to assist him.
It's actually no different than if we needed helmet shields for firefighters. These are just identification shields for when they're on the scene.
When they're on the scene, because there's also a safety officer has the right to stop everything that's happening at the scene of an incident.
I understand that. So I would just make sure they're generic, just like we do with chiefs and captains, and they're just generic shields. They are not personalized.
Just a safety app.
Yeah, it's only so that they can be distinguished from other members.
All right, Chief D, your purchase request?
I have a number of things to give you to review, and purchases that we would like to see happen. Unfortunately, some of these were being viewed as hopefully to get grants for, and we have yet to get a grant for anything we put in for as far as tools within the last year or so. So basically, what we're looking at to begin with, we thought we were getting last year, something didn't happen for whatever reason, maybe because we didn't have the money. But we asked for and got quotes for additional struts, which we thought we were going to have last year. but that didn't happen. And for the struts themselves, what they would do is replace the struts that we carry now on our specialty piece, which is our P3. The struts that are on there would go to one of our other engines to carry. As we found out, not having struts available for at least 2 or 3 of the other vehicles, we can run into some problems. But the struts that we're looking for now are to improve and upgrade our ability to stabilize vehicles on the scenes of incidents. Which right now the struts we do have can stabilize, but they can't lift the vehicles, they can't do things that we actually need to do in order to make sure that the vehicle doesn't get away from us while we're trying to extricate the person out. The price that we have, which we have, would like to have, and comes from Jerome's, and the price is $13,673. We already had a demonstration of this almost two and a half years ago, and that's what we thought we were going to be getting somewhere last year. Either there wasn't enough money or whatever, so that's one. I have a master copy and a couple copies for the personnel that are here. Because we have 2 vehicles now, that one being the new engine 21 and engine 11, which do not have generators on them. So we're kind of strapped before on the scene with one, with not being able to do ventilation. So what we're requesting is a Super Vac Milwaukee battery fan, 18-inch, and we're requesting 2 of them. At the end of last year, we attempted to get one, and unfortunately, we didn't have the money to expend on it. So right now, we're asking for 2, one for each engine, at a cost individually of $5,020, total cost of $10,040.
That's a Milwaukee Super Vac?
Pardon me?
Milwaukee Super Vac?
Yes. The other one that was just handed to me by Safety Officer Hopper is for Duval and cycle replacement of cylinders. Looking for 15 at a total cost of $20,250.
Okay, I'm just gonna stop you right there. You realize that's your entire budget for the year. Those 3 items is your entire budget for the year. That's actually over.
That's the entire budget?
Your entire budget, your entire chief's budget, yes.
That's for everything, even tools?
Yes. I'm not saying we can't get it. We can certainly get it. Just be aware.
Well, we are in need of the struts, we are in need of the Milwaukee fans, and unfortunately we can't get them any cheaper than they are. Unfortunately, battery operated with also a plug-in piece as well. $4,000 or $5,000 is the going price for them. There's not much we can do as far as cutting that down without having the ability. Granted, if we bring a fan to a house and there's home current, that's fine, but if we don't have the ability to plug it into their current because we had to turn it off so we don't shoot our own people, basically it's a need that we have to have. And as far as the SCBA tanks, Bill, this is something that each year we've attempted to do.
Purchase 10 cylinders to stay ahead towards the future. We've got a number of cylinders that are coming due for their final hydros over the next couple of years. So we're planning on having no interruption or issues with having the cylinders by purchasing them in this fashion. We've also added a couple of air-driven tools, air-driven devices, rescue sled, and some other devices that will use one of those cylinders. So that was the reasoning behind that. And it also provides, the other thing, real quickly here, what it also provides is that we come back from calls day or night, We have SCBA cylinders in the racks loaded. They could go on the vehicle, the next ones can get loaded up and charged up and then put into service. So we don't have to do a lot of change out time.
Do we ever replace those air packs cylinders that went in the chief's cars?
Yeah, well, they're out of service now.
Okay.
And I'm looking to get some,
Do we ever replace the cylinders when we took those out of service because of the different?
We
They are now.
are looking to see, he was looking to see if he could swap off for some of them. We have, I think, what, 9 or 10 4.5s? Originally 12.
Okay.
Yeah, but all the chief's vehicles now have 5.5, so we're equal to our personnel when we're going inside with them. And that is a disadvantage.
Okay, but I was thinking there was a lag there, less cylinders when you took those out of service. If you didn't replace them when you originally took them out of service.
They were just taken out of service.
Okay. Oh, all right. Okay. That makes sense.
You couldn't find out.
he's in Hawaii right now. He wants to be back in a couple days, hopefully.
Sorry, I didn't mean to put a crimp in here. I just want you to be aware that that's,
And there's no money available beyond that we could tap into because.
you could
right
tap
now-
into the equipment fund, but there's only so much of the equipment fund. And to do the equipment fund, that's the one that takes the resolution, so we have to wait the 30 days, so just so you're aware. So if it's an immediate need, don't wait, because we have to do a resolution to take the money out, wait 30 days, and then we can go through the purchasing process.
Okay.
Right now, there's
Our
two-
need right now is for the 2 fans and for the struts.
You can order them. The fire equipment budget is 22.5, so you're a little over, but that's,
I was looking at, well, the problem that we got, we can probably do without these for now,
Yes.
or at this point, and then perhaps put in to see if we can get some money taken to replace the bottles.
there's 6,000 in the SCBA fund. So you have 6,000 for the year for SCBA equipment. These are the type of things that, I'll just say, preface it, these are the kind of things that should be brought to the budgeting when we do all those budgeting workshops and say, hey, what do you need for next year? What are you looking for? These are the kind of things that we should know ahead of time so we can put them in the budget.
We did that last year, and we got told we couldn't have any of that last year. The thought was that
It was
it was
never brought to
known,
us.
it was known that we were gonna attempt to get struts, attempt to get the fans, but because last year not having money available for it, we had to withdraw that. But that thought was put in there.
Because last year it wasn't budgeted for because it wasn't asked for. Same for this year, it wasn't specifically budgeted for because nobody asked us for it.
Okay. If I could then just ask for future, I do not need to see the entire budget for the entire district. All I need to see is what my budget is, period. That's all I want to see.
Okay?
I have no interest in the other stuff because it's of no concern of mine, because you have to handle that, not me. But as far as that is, now I'll just see zeros, but for future reference, I just want to see what is for us as the fire department itself. I will attempt on some of the stuff to go to the department and see if they will replace some of it as far as that is. So right now, it's the super vac and the struts, which super vac total would be the 10,040 and the struts would be 13,673. So basically, it's actually 23,900 or so, thereabouts. So As far as the bottles, we'll back off on that, and we'll see about rethinking that to do just a few of them. It seems like we could have more money for equipment. I don't mean to throw that at you, but sliding.
That's all right.
Okay.
Can I give you two the same time?
Let's see.
You can
Yep,
absolutely.
looks like I did.
Switch. You've got the original.
Oh.
Oh, the struts.
All right.
Sort of that. We had talked last year, or we were told last year that we should start thinking in terms of coming up with battery preferences, and we did, which would be Milwaukee batteries for most of the hand tools and stuff, and probably DeWalt, not probably, but DeWalt batteries for other things. Obviously, though, there was no money for that, so you see, we have to start planning for next year.
Well, I'm not saying that there's no money. Like I said, there is the equipment fund if we need to take money out of that for something. But as a general, the bigger ticket items should be brought in and said, I need to plan for this. Then we will take that money and incorporate it into the budget line, in addition to what we generally put in there.
Going forward, and then going back to what I initially said, we were told that perhaps from Mr. Currier, that grants would be available to us perhaps to get the struts or something else. That fell through. That's why it wasn't pushed over, because we thought that we had a plan. That plan fell through. Same thing when we asked for cameras, ticks. We were told, oh, we're going to try to get a sandwich grant with a fire sub. That fell through. Every time that we wanted some, we were told, oh, we're going to go get grant money for it. We were told we're going to get grant money for a truck. That fell through. So basically, I'm operating on what else is going to fall through. Do I have enough money in the budget to also get maybe $560 more?
I told you there's money in the equipment fund. We can take money out of there.
$560, then I'm going to present the fact that we need to replace mechanic tool sets on 4 of our vehicles because of the fact that they're aged, they are falling apart, and you pick it up by the handle, you leave 2 or 3 parts behind, and some of the tools with it. Now, the tools that are in those can be surplused. They can either be sold, or they can be used as we lose a tool, we can replace it with a tool. But right now, the tool sets that we have, we got a quote for $139.99 each, for 4 would be $560. And that's from Harbor Freight. We looked at others, and this one here appears to be the better made mold box and such, so I will let you have a copy of that. If you want to go to him, you get the master copy. You guys don't want to see it? Okay.
Chief, I'll talk to you later. There's possibly other areas we could go other than the grant, federal grant. There's,
You can join us at the Chiefs meeting on the 11th,
right,
and we'll go that way.
And my advice for future, regardless if you're going to try for a grant, budget for it in case the grant falls through.
I would think,
And don't listen
don't take it the wrong
to
way, and
one specific person on the board.
I will speak to that at a different time, when I'm not talking to thousands of people who have no clue.
Anything else you got?
I appreciate your time and effort, and hopefully we will do well with what we have. I think this will suffice for now, and we can start later. Thank you.
Jeff?
Last meeting, I talked about the second gear room. I talked about walling it off and making it my room. I kind of rethought that a little bit, just an idea. Instead of still walled off, I'm going to make it just a storage room. But if I had this, come up with this bin cabinet, put that in there, I could probably put the majority of my stuff in that cabinet, and it'd be in that room for that space. And then down the road, if you ever wanted to do something else not moving me again.
Is it large enough to hold all your stuff? Because I know how.
Well,
the
there
room
is
is.
stuff that's in that room that I now is gotta get sorted out and it can go to the old stores. But a lot of the stuff that, you know, small items like fittings and stuff, they go in this cabinet.
That's up to you if you're.
I just don't think I need to take up a space when I don't really need to, just my opinion. You know, if they ever want to do something else with it, I just, you know, if they're ever down the road, if I'm not the maintenance person and they want this cabinet somehow, they can do it somehow. I'm not gonna do it forever here.
Come on.
You'll be able to put
The guys are sucked in for life.
Yeah.
You'll be able to put tools in there and everything too?
Yeah, it's got, well, I came up, I found one that had all bins. It's like the bins that we use, it's the same idea. It's got, you put them on the doors and everything. But this one here's got some shelves on it, but you can put bins, we do have the bins. We can use those if you want. But it is quite elaborate. Yeah, so. Just,
I personally am okay with it if you're okay with it, so.
yeah, I don't know if I really, if stores is gonna be pretty much my storage area anyway for most of my stuff, then having that cabinet there would be convenient, then I can put all my electrical fittings and small stuff in it, and then the other stuff. But the stuff that's in there now needs to get sorted out again. I really want to do that in there, to be honest with you. So I got a price on that's, $1,166.91. It'll be RTP 2113.
Okay. Anything else? Station 3 floors?
Yeah, I've never been satisfied with the floors in Station 3 since the day we moved in. I just think they always look like they're not really dirty, but they've got a, no matter how much you mop them, it doesn't seem to bring the finish back. Bathrooms are the same way. So I had Supreme clean and go over to look at the kitchen for another price on cleaning that, which I'm going to put up, not for us, I'm going to put that up to the fire department to do. But anyway, I asked him to take a ride with me up to Station 3. And I said, I'm not going to tell you anything. I want you to walk through here and tell me about the floors. And he looked at him, he said, they aren't finished properly. He says, at the most, and he said, I would be guessing, maybe a coat of wax. He said, if a new station like this, a new building, it needs 3 to 4 good coats of wax. And he said, and the same thing with the bathrooms. They were, whatever they put on it, that was one coat. He said, that's not enough for new construction. So I did get a price. I realized we're going to have more prices because this price was not excessive, but it was more than I thought it would be. But it's something we should think about. Is it, to me, the place is always kind of dull, you know. So
Let's see if we can get the floor fixed first before we spend money to refinish them.
okay,
Or at least don't do the hallways.
okay. And the only other thing I had is I had lunch with coffee with Mike Chura, who's a new commissioner over in Belgium, and we got talking about, you know, meetings and everything like that. And I'm looking for action on this tonight. I want everybody to take a look at it and see what you think of it. They have a protocol for citizens' comment section, and I also, they gave me an outline of their committees and stuff, just if you want to look at it. But I think I don't think we need it right now, but I can see a future where I've been, matter of fact, I've been there when things have happened, not necessarily here, but other places where I've been to meetings, and They could easily get out of control. I remember I was on the village board, that some of those board meetings were a free-for-all. So just food for thought, something we might want to think about to implement later on. And again, I'm not looking for any decision tonight, just review it and see what you think. If it's something that you think we might be able to use in the future.
All right, and last thing on the agenda is a new member, Sean. No. I believe background check was in there and came back clean. So pending his physical, I would say he's passing his physical. He should be accepted as a new member.
I make a motion.
No, it needs to be a motion. Just has to be noted in the minutes.
Okay.
Anything else? All right, then I will say meeting adjourned at 7:26.